guys, I've always said that you need to follow your dream job, and it might not even be a job that already exists. And as a case in point, I'm in the Long Island studio of my friend Tom Spina, who restores and revivifies beautiful old Hollywood props and is the proprietor of Regal Robot, makers of Star Wars furniture. That's an actual business model that you are making work.
Yes.
And we are looking at a piece of Star Wars furniture right here. I don't think any Star Wars fan needs prompting, but talk to me about this, Tom.
Sure. No, and you're really right. And I've always said, it's like, I definitely did not take the easy road. It was kind of like, what is this stuff that we're good at? What is kind of cool? What are these things I want to do in life? And like, I couldn't get a job doing it, so I made it. And we also made this. So this is an in progress Millennium Falcon asteroid coffee table. It's one of Regal Robot's premier products, one of our high-end, super limited, handmade, hand-assembled pieces of furniture. It is.
And when you say that, we're looking at a Millennium Falcon. You built this. You made this from scratch.
So this isn't like a toy that we're painting in here. This isn't one of the existing models. This is actually this is the master that we used. So this comes from the ILM files for Star Tours. So being a Lucasfilm licensee, sometimes you get access to cool things like that. And what we did was we took that, and Gordon Tarpley, our mutual friend, modified it digitally. He then broke the thing up. We printed it on a Form 2 3D printer in many pieces.
I can imagine.
And then Steve here at the studio took much more time assembling it and also refining all of the details. Now that it was printed, now that we had it in physical space, that we could say like, okay, let's punch this up, let's punch that up, let's make, find a way to make this moldable.
Right, I was going to say, each one of these isn't 3D printed. You made a master 3D printing, and then you made a mold of it.
So we now have a silicone and fiberglass mold of this.
May I pick this up?
Yeah.
Wow. I don't even know where you get started molding something this complex.
Well, what's interesting is we got started by removing this little piece right here because there's a deep undercut in the mandibles there. Once that piece is out of the equation, all of a sudden we could come up with a two-part mold for this, and we made the seam line right along the top edge or the bottom edge, I believe.
Oh, that's brilliant.
And you can see the edges,
thickened up the edges
just a little bit. We gave them a little draft there. And the reason for that is, obviously this is not a prop replica.
Right.
This is an inspired by piece. That said, we're prop guys. We're monster makers.
We're going to get as close as we can. And
Exactly.
somebody in your shop gets to say every morning, oh, I'm going to go in and paint the Millennium Falcon again.
Right. Oh, God. Yeah.
So, was there a TIE fighter at some point in the design?
So
shouldn't there be one crashing against them?
Yeah. Stuff on a rock. We, at one point, this is several years ago, we did an incarnation of this as a one-off and just put it out there online.
Yeah.
And it went pretty viral. Much like 10 years ago, we made the Han Solo and Carbonite desk that went crazy viral. And it was stuff like that was the genesis for Regal Robot. It was something where we had all of these ideas that came out of it. We did the Han Carbonite desk, and then we said, oh, it would be cool. Rich Riley, who's one of our top foam guys, he's not here today, but he's famous for going, it would be cool, and then Genius comes out. Like, this was a it would be cool idea.
Okay, but you mentioned the Han Solo desk. Can we walk over and talk about that? Because that is one of the first things I saw of yours in the furniture department. Come on over here. This is one of your first product, right? This is the first.
This was, when we said we're doing Regal Robot, we're going to make Star Wars furniture and decor and art.
Yeah.
We have to do the Han Carbonite desk. So people are that they know us for it, we have to do a Han Carbonite desk.
I remember when this came up on the RPF, people started freaking out about it.
Lost their minds. It was the first viral thing that we did. It was before viral was even a thing. There was no Facebook, no Twitter. It was just like, well, what happened here? All of a sudden, just email came in. So this new version, we got to scan the original prop. We utilized the old, kind of 90s mold that's out there for the body, which was in pretty good shape, but we 3D printed the feet, the hands, and the face, and then merged those into it. And then we went in and we sharpened up all of this stuff to match the original again, brought back all that detail that was lost over the years, and I can honestly say this is the most faithful version that is out there of that prop.
What is it? I just have to ask this, but like, what kind of person just wants to be staring at an immobilized Harrison Ford while they work?
A Mandalorian?
I guess so. I guess so. Right. Yeah. You just put on your Boba helmet and
there you go. Like, okay, time to sign some bills.
It really is. It's magnificent. And do you make different versions of this?
So for right now, we actually do have a custom one in the works. So one of the cool things with Regal Robot is we're not just doing products.
Right.
We have the ability with Lucasfilm to do custom, one-of-a-kind pieces for fans out there that are officially licensed products. And so right now we're doing a version of this for someone that is bar height and has narrower side panels so that they can fit 2 stools behind it. And we're doing some custom stools for them too that are really cool, and I can't wait to share those.
So maybe even some glasses like from Moss Espa or something like that.
That would actually be kind of neat.
This is incredible.
Thank you. And of course, this one, veering away from that original one where we had the full carbonite block, we made this a little more streamlined.
Right.
This is a little cleaner.
Actually functional cabinets back here.
There are cabinets, there are drawers, there's a file drawer, soft close hinges, all of that. And on the sides...
Oh, you've got the Empire...
the Bespin carbonite chamber dash panel there. And it reveals, in this case, an aluminum... underneath, which just kind of ties everything together. But it's that little hint. It's letting people know, it's like, we get it. We know this is not some big faceless company out there. We are passionate Star Wars fans here.
Did you have the same feeling which I do, which is Harrison Ford seems to have abnormally large hands?
He does have very large hands, right? Well, I wonder though, those may not actually be Harrison Ford's hands. They might be
something
the guy
tells
who played
me
Bosk.
No, I'm actually having a sense memory of having a conversation with Richard Miller about the putting together of this. Richard Miller is one of the key sculptors at Industrial Light and Magic, he sculpted Leia's bikini and everything else. And
my understanding is that from the neck down, this is the actor who played Bosk, and the face is actually Harrison Ford that was brought in. Stuart Freeborn did the mold. Yes, in that pained expression.
Oh my God!
But it was really neat seeing that face after we got that 3D print side by side with the old molds that were out there in the 90s, the elusives and all of that, and just seeing how much different they were and how much was lost along the way. And just how much truer this new scan was. It was really cool to work with. Okay,
you have a third piece from Regal Robots to show me, yes?
Yeah, we have a handful of pieces.
All right, let's go take a look. Well, now, speaking of someone who would enjoy sitting at a Han Solo desk, the Mandalorian skull you've got here.
Yeah. So everybody kind of knows this as, I knew it as a bantha skull as a kid. Okay. Everybody now calls it a mythosaur skull. Mythosaur, though, is kind of in question in terms of canon because they rebooted the EU. So we settled on with Lucasfilm Mandalorian skull. It's a Mandalorian symbol, so that's where we ended up. And we've got a full range of products now that are based on this skull. So it started with this little guy.
This is absolutely beautiful.
And the red tag is so we know that's our paint master and we don't accidentally sell that one.
This is your reference for painting.
Right. So this is one of our mold real mold castings, and that's each one is hand painted here in the studio. Everyone's a little bit unique, but we do it with washes and we capture all of this little intricate detail in there.
Incredible. Now, when you say that it's your paint master, does that also mean that you sat in a conference room with the folks from Lucasfilm and they went, yeah, this is it?
Pretty much. We were very fortunate. Our contacts at Lucasfilm, the people that work with us, they definitely get it, and they know we get it.
Well, I just imagine like 12-year-old you could never have imagined you'd be talking about the paint job of a Mandalorian skull in their conference room.
No, absolutely. Right? If I told my 12-year-old self, like if I had a time machine, went back in time to my 12-year-old self, my 12-year-old self would say, oh my God, time travel is real?
Okay, here we go. LFL Regal Robots.
Right?
You made it. Now, okay, so you started to increase the size too.
So now we started with this sculpted by Mio Nakamura, who's an effects friend of mine. We also had her sculpt this giant-sized one.
This is amazing.
And you could see we upped the level of detail even a little further. And this one's just a sample, but this is right out of the production mold, production paint. This is how the copies come to people.
Yeah. It's really gorgeous.
Thank you.
When you talk about washes, when we do talk about weathering and painting untested, the key is that it looks like, oh, maybe it's just shades of brown, but there's multiple colors in here to bring out the detail, isn't there?
It's actually a fairly simple thing. It's only 2 or 3 colors on there, but if you apply it right, you can really capture a ton of detail and give that impression that there's much more going on.
Like the first color just gives this, oh, wow, there's some detail, but that second one is...
The darker wash really does.
Depth.
Yeah. And the cool thing is, this is sculpted for a wash paint job. I always say there are certain sculpts that just sort of scream out for it. It's groovy. It's etched. It's got a lot of little nooks and crannies for paint to settle. Totally. That's a great way of saying it.
Oh, that's beautiful. Oh my goodness.
Thank you.
Okay, so that's the extension of this guy.
And that is actually the front half of the mold for this guy.
Holy cow.
It's intense. And if you thought there was a lot of detail on the piece.
Oh wow. And this isn't your current production mold?
This is a retired production mold.
I was going to say, I can feel that it has already, I can feel the silicone has already done its duty won't survive another few castings.
Yeah. This is one of the retired molds.
What genius came up with this? Is not an easy shape to mold in one piece.
And congrats to Mio for what she was able to do. She, I was looking at it, maybe we make the horns removable and key them, maybe we do that. And she said, you know what? I can come up with a shape and make this work. And boy, did she. These swoops in here are just beautiful.
Yeah. Well, what is this? That somehow is able to come out of there.
Very carefully. There's actually a pull you have to do where let's see here. It's the eyes go this way, the nose has to go this way first, and then back.
So you have to so you pull the whole mother mold off of it
every time you have to. Yeah. There's just too much detail, too much. We didn't want to. It's okay to have some undercut, but this sculpt just needed that extra little oomph, and we didn't want to take that away.
This is one of those hidden costs that people don't realize about silicone molding is you don't get an infinite number of castings out, and every casting limits the lifespan of the mold, and it changes its properties.
It
does. You have a flexibility for the first casting that might not exist on the 8th.
Yeah, and you start to shift, your seams will start to shift as the silicone expands and contracts a little bit over time, too.
So you'll need to make new molds all the time to keep production going.
Yeah.
Wow. It's really absolutely gorgeous. I mean, just the engineering itself is gorgeous.
Yeah, it's a brilliant mold. And it's a brilliant sculpt. I'm so thrilled with that.
Okay.
And this is our newest interpretation. So this I'll take you from this is a sort of mid-range. And we said, what could we do that's a little different? Give it its own visual identity, and we said, let's put it on a plaque.
Yep.
This sort of mimics the shape of the symbol that's there.
And it's that mustard color that feels a little boba.
But it's the color of the armor with the little chips and the dirt.
Yep.
And again, all of this is hand-painted right here. Every chip, every weathering.
And he's got the Harry Potter lightning bolt.
Of course, you've got to have it. And so this is a new sculpt. It's not like a scan and resize. And this is a relief sculpture. In this case, it's flat on the back.
So meant to be poured in one.
Exactly, and we've just got an open face mold. This is one of the many production molds that we've got on this, where we just do open face pours, clean up the back. It screws onto the back of the plaque, and there's our copyright Regal robot.
So speaking of the wouldn't it be cool if, you get to actually call Lucasfilm every few weeks and go, hey, I have another wouldn't it be cool if, what do you think?
It's pretty wouldn't it be cool if you could do that?
And this is my new belt buckle, is that correct?
That's right, that's right. And it's heavy enough it might not keep your pants up.
I don't think it would.
It's heavy metal, right?
Yeah.
So we always wanted to do a limited edition. Lucasfilm gave us the okay, and we said, we're doing 300 pieces. This is solid pewter, cast in the USA, hand tarnished. Each one has a little bit of a unique paint on it. They all come with a numbered certificate. This one happens to be our artist proof for the studio.
Wonderful.
And it's just so exciting to see this. When I got the first test sample back, and I held, and this is just a few ounces, and this is over a pound. It was just, substantial. We have to make this.
When you talk to people about the stuff that you're doing, what is the biggest misunderstanding they might have about making furniture along these lines?
I think, for us anyway, I think there's a little bit of, people expect it to all be mass-produced overseas. People think you're making 1,000 Han carbonite desks, you know.
You're making this here in the shop with local help, local talent, sculptors,
exactly,
etc.
And it's you know, all U.S. made, all hand finished. Everything gets a lot of love and care into it. Everything takes a lot of time, and it's not, you know, we're doing on the big stuff one at a time.
I also love that you're using both some of the oldest technologies, sculpting and painting, some of the newest ones from 3D printing and scanning to make sure that the accuracy is there.
Yeah. And
Tom, this is absolutely thrilling.
Thank you.
Can you give us a tease of what's next, of projects that?
We have a lot in the works. We actually have about, and this isn't much of an exaggeration, about 100 ideas in with Lucasfilm right now that we are discussing. It's this big book that we've sort of, and that's exactly it. Within the next month or two, we'll have some tables that are pretty cool, some pub tables. And those are kind of nice, sort of mere mortal type items. They're accessible.
This is an ongoing relationship, and you're going to keep on releasing stuff.
We have a lot of ideas in the future, and I think over the next few months, there's going to be some really cool stuff on regalrobot.com.
That's fabulous, and we'll keep covering it on Tested. Tom, thanks so much for showing us this amazing work.
Thank you.